Today we're taking this Miata from this to this, and we're doing it for right around 100 bucks. Now, if you aren't familiar with this Miata, I bought this thing a little while ago as an abandoned project. Someone had left it at a body shop, didn't pay their bill. It got sold on a lien to someone else who ended up parking it in an alleyway for a little over a year, where the soft top deteriorated, developed a huge hole, totally ruined the interior. And while I've cleaned up the interior and made it look pretty nice, I haven't fixed the top yet. Keeping with the budget theme of this build, I bought the cheapest soft top I could find online. And today we're gonna see, is that any good? And can you actually do it at home? Got my girlfriend Rachel here today, and she's gonna help me with this thing. Now, I've done a little bit of research on this, and everybody seems to say it is doable to replace a soft top on a Miata. However, it is difficult. Not necessarily difficult on a technical level, but very tedious. It's kind of a hard job because things have to line up right, and the material on the new soft top, from what I've heard, is very tight and difficult to work with because obviously it's brand new. So let's get into it. Let's see if this is something we can do, and let's see how it turns out. So I purchased this soft top about a month and a half or 2 months ago on eBay, and it was like $140 including shipping. I just checked now and they're more like $180, so sorry if this title is a little misleading, but I will say shop around. There are some good deals out there. We're going to start by taking off this little front flange thing. I think that holds the front part of the soft top down. Next, you pull this little rubber seal out, and that exposes this metal piece, which has 3 screws that hold it on. Take that off. All right, so I think we got the front half pretty much done. Now the back half is a series of 10 mil bolts that go along the whole perimeter of the bottom side. So you can kind of see there is a bunch of nuts under there. So we'll get all those out, and hopefully the soft top will kind of pull out of that little channel it's in. With all those 10 mils out, those little channels lift out in sections. So you can see that's one of the bigger ones there. All right, so there's one little rivet in the corner here we've got to drill out. Let me show you where it's at.
There we go.
Down in the corner here. Just gonna drill that out. Go ahead. All right, so one thing I realized, we do have to save this like big rubber gasket thing. This is the old soft top, as you can tell. The new one does not have it. It has a small flange where the bolts go, or the nuts, but it doesn't have this big rubber seal, which I'm guessing helps with weatherproofing. So thankfully it is just held in with rivets. So we'll be drilling all of these out and then I guess riveting in this onto the new top. So, all right, that was a bit of a pain, but we got it on. So it's 2 different parts. It's this thick rubber seal and then this like vinyl thing behind it, and it sandwiches the new soft top in between those. So I had to go get some washers because the rivets I have, the heads weren't too big, but you can see the washer worked just fine. There's a whole lot of them, so you can see on the back side. Should be just fine. We're gonna throw this in the car, and I don't know how hard it's gonna be to actually install it, but let's do it. All right, we got the soft top frame out of the car on the ground. Now it's just a matter of lining everything up, feeding some funky little wire through the thing, and hoping it all fits. All right, the soft top's on the frame. It was kind of annoying, but really it just takes like patience and tucking it around all the corners and lining everything up right, and maybe some self-tappers. What do you think was the hardest part of that?
The hardest part about the soft top, putting it on, was how tight it was. Because it's brand new, there's no give to it, so you're just really having to manhandle the hell out of it and put it on. Yeah.
It is definitely a tight fit dealing with a brand new soft top. I mean, the one we took off was the original 20 years old, so it's expected that it's going to be a tight fit. You really have to kind of like stretch some of the corners. Be careful. The new soft top will tear if you are not careful. Some of the videos I watched recommended like leaving it out in the sun. We didn't do any of that, but it's kind of a hot day here anyway, so I think that was working. But with it on the frame, now we can put the frame back in the car, tidy everything up, and hopefully it all fits and works the way it's supposed to. It's in. Still have some buttoning up to do, but check it out. Fits super tight since it's brand new. I think that's what they were saying about pulling it out in the sun, because it's really hard to actually like latch down and close it. But it fits good. It definitely took a while to kind of line everything up on the back and get that like weather stripping thing situated. But it's in. Still have some buttoning up to do with like the carpet and the plastic trim and all that. But I would say for the price we paid for a brand new top, it's definitely worth doing yourself if you're up for the challenge. A little tip that helped me out when I was getting these bolts on the back side. So there's like 12 10mm bolts that kind of run the parameter of the back part of the top. It was way easier if I just pulled the seat out. Now I'm a tall guy, maybe if you're small you can fit back there better than I could, but it's way easier with the seat out. I'll point out where these bolts are so you know what I'm saying. No seat means you can just kind of sit there and then reach way back to all the bolts that are hiding like way back there. All right, we're getting the Miata back together. I got the carpet and the little trim pieces all installed on the back. That all looks good. This carpet just clips in back there. You can see those little plastic clips. Got the weather stripping back along the top. Still struggling to get this top to actually like fit correctly, or latch correctly, I mean. It fits, it's just like really tight. You still have to really pull on the thing to get the latch to go. And again, I don't know if that's just because it's brand new and it needs to kind of wear into it, or maybe I did something wrong. I don't know. Everything seems to fit. So I have a hard time believing I did something wrong, but who knows? I'm just gonna roll with it and hope that it kind of works its way in. But let's get the seat back in, the interior back together, and then finally take a good look at this thing. All right, the interior is back together. All the little trim pieces, miscellaneous screws and clips and all that stuff are back in, and it all looks good. Let's get a better look at that new top. This is what I'm talking about here. So the top stops here. Now I can grab it and like force it to come down and shut, but I don't know if it should stop there and I should be kind of pulling it down or what. And then when I do get it latched, my latches don't stay. Like as soon as I let go, there's no like clip. So I don't know if that's an issue with the latch. Maybe it's just like worn out or what, but that doesn't seem right. Well, that's it. The Miata's got a new top. Like I said, it only cost me about 140 bucks. Like I'd mentioned, they are a little bit more expensive now, but do your shopping around. They also offer them in a bunch of different colors. So if your original top was tan or you just want something a little bit different, they are out there. And they have options for the flexible plastic window like I have, or the glass window, which is what this had originally. The issue with the glass, especially living in a really hot climate where the sun just destroys these soft tops, is the weight of the glass will actually tear and fall through. That's what happened to this thing originally. The glass is a little bit nicer, but more expensive, and it won't last as long, at least not in the desert where I'm at now. Like right now it's like 105 and it's 5 p.m. So a little hot. But all in all, I think it was definitely worth it. I mean, it looks brand new and it was really cheap. It was just a matter of putting in the work. And like I said, I still have to figure out the issues with the latch. I'm kind of leaning towards it's just a problem with the actual latch itself, because now that I think about it, and I actually watched a video when I first got this thing, with the old soft top, the latches didn't lock either. I remember driving it for the very first time and the top was kind of like moving. It's because that latch didn't lock in. So I think it's an issue with the latches. Not a big deal. Overall, really happy with how the top turned out. If you're thinking of doing this on your own Miata, I would definitely say do it. As long as you have a little bit of mechanical skill and some basic tools, it's really not that hard. Definitely find a friend to help. I couldn't have done it alone. Just getting the soft top material over the frame definitely took two people. Like one person had to get their side in and hold it, while the other person kind of stretched their side over that frame. And then you were able to get the screws in and kind of move on from there. But I don't think it would have been possible alone, at least not for a first timer. To add to that, I will say it was way easier to do it with the soft top frame out of the car. Comes out pretty easy. I know I didn't show the process of that, but there are 3 or 4 bolts on both sides of the car. I'll point out where. So they live in this area here, right in here kind of. So once the top is folded down, you'll see there's a few bolts kind of behind this plastic trim here. And then obviously you have to get the soft top itself unbolted. With the frame out of the car, you can flip it upside down and lay it on top of the soft top, and then just kind of work the soft top on like each corner and then all the way down the sides. And it's not that bad. Like I said, just do it with 2 people. Have a good deal of patience, because it will take a while, and be careful. Like I had mentioned, you can rip the corners if you're not careful and you try to just pull on it way too hard. We just about had an issue with that. Thankfully, it was like super minor. But that pretty much wraps this up. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Would you tackle a project like this on your own, or would you leave it to the professionals? Make sure you're subscribed, because there is a bit of a change of plans with the Miata and what direction we're going to be going with this thing. So be sure to stay tuned. A video on that will probably be coming soon. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. And of course, catch you in the next one.